Hello and welcome to my channel, The Complete CSC Guide, and I am Sanskriti. In our previous class, we have studied about the simplest protocol in the noiseless channel. We are going through the data link layer, and it was about the noiseless channel in which I have already explained you about the simplest protocol. Now, as I have told you that in this class we will study about the stop and wait protocol. These two are the protocols which are being used by the data link layer for the flow and error control of the data link layer, right? So two protocols are basically there, the simplest and the stop and wait protocol. So these two protocols, previously you can see the video to see what was the simplest protocol. I'm not explaining it today, but in today's class we will study about the stop and wait protocol. It's also an advanced version. Here some flow control is being launched in this simplest protocol. What we have studied in previous class, that simplest protocol didn't have any kind of flow control or error control, but in this protocol, stop and wait protocol, some flow control features are being added, right? So this is something different from our previous class. Now here stop and wait protocol, you can see the picture also here, what is happening, whatever thing is going on. But first of all, let's see what it is. Okay, so if data frames arrives the receiver at the receiver side faster than they can be processed, the frames must be stored until their use. What's the thing? As you know that since this is my sender, right, and this is my receiver, so the main thing is when the sender is sending some frames to the receiver is receiving that one, right? But if what if the data frames arrives at the receiver side faster than it can be processed, since here something is there, some processing is done, right? So when the sender is sending the frame, so some kind of processing is done here in the receiver side. But if again the sender is going on sending frames, so here what will happen, the receiver will not be able to process the frames, right? Since we have already discussed that the receiver have some storage limit, it has some storage limit as well as it has some time limit also. So here if the receiver is getting something, any data, any frame, so it is processing it and then it is giving the acknowledgement, right? But here what was happening in simplest protocol, we were sending the frames one by one, we were sending the frames. But here what is happening, if we are going on sending frames one by one, but we are not waiting for a particular amount of time, what will happen, this particular receiver will not be able to process those frames, since it is going on coming and coming, this is just going on receiving the frames. But it should have some time, it should have some storage here where it can store the frames until the frames are processed. So whenever the receiver is receiving the frames, what it is doing, it is processing those frames. So if some frame is coming, it have a storage where when the frames have been received or sent by the sender one by one, until that is processed, the frames are processed one by one, so the other frames have been stored in the storage space so that the processing can be smooth, it can be done correctly, right? So here what is happening, if data frames arrives at the receiver side faster than it can be processed, that if the processing time is, suppose it's 5 minutes, then if it is faster, the frames are being sent after 2 minutes, after each and every 2 minutes the frames are being sent, so the processing is not possible. At that time what is happening, the frames must be stored until their use, that is until they are being processed, the frames must be stored in some kind of storage. So there the frames are stored. If the sending of the amount of time by whatever time we are going on sending the frames, that is less, that is if the processing time, whatever time we are processing, we need to process, it is coming faster, right, faster than the processing time. So obviously the receiver have some storage where the frames are stored until and unless they are being processed, right? So second point is receiver not have enough storage if it is receiving data from many sources. Now it is my one source, right? This is my one source from where each and everything is happening. If it have more than one source, suppose here again a source is there which is also sending some data. So what will happen? If it have more than one source, from one source the data is coming, it can have a storage. But if the receiver does not have enough storage space, why? It is receiving data from many sources. Suppose the receiver is receiving data from many other sources also, not one source. So what will happen? It will not have enough storage where it can store the data or store the frame, so that it can process that in particular time. So from one source when it is coming, it can have a storage where it can keep the data unless it is processed, right? Now, can result in either discarding of frames or denial of service. Then what will happen? If the receiver is going on receiving, then what the receiver will do? Since it doesn't have the time to process the frames, then what it will do? It can do two kind of things. First is it can discard the frames, right? It will discard the frames, or it will denial, that is denial of service. Okay, that is your DOS, denial of service. It will do a denial of service. Why? So it have to give, we have to give it a time so that it can process the data. If it cannot process the data and it is going on getting frames, and it is getting frames from different sources also, then what it will do? It will discard some frames, or it will deny the service, so that it can process the same thing. Since it have a particular time, it have a time limit of processing, it have a storage limit of storing the data. If this limit is being crossed, then obviously either it will discard the frames or it will deny the service. These two things it can do for getting a particular time limit to process the frames, right? Now, to prevent receiver from becoming overwhelmed with frames, the sender must be slowed down. Now, what we have to do, since it is overloaded, right? So, to make it to just protect it from being overloaded with frames, what we have to do? The sender should be slowed down. Because if the sender is going on sending, so obviously the receiver will receive, but it is not able to process that in time, then everything will be just denied or discarded. So what if we have to do? We have to slow down the sender. We have to slow down this one. So we cannot slow down the receiver. The receiver is also doing the same the work of processing in its particular time, but the sender is going on sending. So what we have to do? We have to slow down the sender. Please just slow down so that the receiver can do the processing in its particular time, right? So we have to slow down this one to maintain the balance, right? Now, so here must be feedback from receiver to sender. There should be a feedback. What kind of feedback? Yes, I am sending this frames, I am sending this much frames to the receiver, and the receiver should give me a feedback that yes, I have received this one. I am giving you some points to write, right? If I am your teacher, I am giving you some points to write. You are going on writing. But at a particular time, I should have a feedback. Until and unless you are giving me a feedback that yes ma'am, up to this we have written, or this point we have missed, or we have, please tell me the point again, repeat the point. So this is your feedback which I am getting, right, when we are in front of each other. So this is the feedback which I need to get slowed down. So obviously the sender needs a feedback from the receiver to get slowed down. If it is not getting any kind of feedback, then it will going on sending the frames. So a particular, to slow down the receiver sender, what we have to do? The receiver should give a feedback so that the sender can slow down. Until and unless the sender is getting that particular feedback, the sender will be slowed down. It will get the feedback, then again it will repeat sending the frames. So here sender sends one frame, stops until receiver gives the acknowledgement from the receiver, then sends the next frame. So here what is happening? The sender is sending the frames. Here what will happen? Now we are slowing down the process, and the receiver is having a feedback now. Now what will happen? The sender, first it will send the frame to the receiver, Now sender stops. It is slowed down. After processing, the receiver is doing whatever processing things it want to do. It is doing its process. Then it is sending an acknowledgement to the sender. Now this particular thing, this sender is first of all, it is requesting, right? It is requesting, then it is sending a frame to the receiver. This frame is arrived at the receiver. Then receiver is sending an acknowledgement which is arrived at the sender. Now the sender will send the next frame. Since it is arrived, it will send the next frame. Again same thing will be going on. So here what is the feedback? Feedback is about ACK, that is your acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is the feedback which the receiver is giving to the sender. Until getting that particular feedback, the sender is being slowed down. It is stopping. It is waiting for a particular time. But obviously it will also have a particular time limit. Since it cannot wait for the whole time, right? So it will also have a time limit. The sender will have a time limit. Up to that time limit, the sender will wait that yes, if the receiver is sending me some acknowledgement, then okay, I will send the next frame. If it is not sending me the acknowledgement, then I will send the previous frame, that is your retransmission. So here what is the thing? The basic thing is it is sending the frame, sender, receiver receiving the frame, processing whatever thing is doing, then it is sending an acknowledgement. After getting the acknowledgement, only the sender will send the next frame, right? Now here what is happening? It is an unidirectional communication for frame. Since the frame is going in one direction only, so it is an unidirectional, that is one direction. The frame is going only from the sender to the receiver. Okay, and second thing, but auxiliary frames, that is ACK, travel from other direction. That is your, this is the auxiliary frame, means it is for the feedback. So it is coming from the alternative direction, that is the other direction, the reverse direction. So it is coming from the reverse direction, that is from receiver to sender. Then we have to add a flow control to the simplest protocol. What was the simplest protocol? Only the frames were going and received by the receiver. Again the frames were sent and received by the receiver. But here we have to give a flow control. Why flow control? Since the receiver is only going on receiving in case of our simplest protocol. Now we are giving a flow control. What is the flow control? That is our acknowledgement which is being implemented in this particular protocol, that is an stop and wait. So you have to stop after sending one frame, stop, wait for a particular time, and then again you can send the next frame. So this is basically what is happening here in the stop and frame wait protocol. Now what is the designing of the protocol? On comparing stop and wait protocol design with the simplest protocol design, we can see that traffic on the front or forward channel from the sender to reverse and back reverse channel. Now here what is happening? Here we can see a traffic. We can see a traffic on the sender side here. Since something is waiting, it's waiting for its chance to come. In the traffic lights, what happened? If we are waiting, when the red light is on, we are waiting, right? Again, when the green light is on, we will go ahead. Here also it is waiting. The frames are going on waiting. They are waiting here until and unless the acknowledgement is sent, the acknowledgement is received, then so a traffic is there. We can see a traffic of frames here in the stop and wait protocol, right? So here on comparing stop and wait design with the simplest, we can see the traffic on the front, that is the forward channel, from sender to reverse channel, that is the receiver. So here we are comparing. In the simplest protocol, what was happening? We were having a traffic, so many frames were going on, but here some stoppage is there in the stop and wait protocol, where the traffic is limited. Now it is being stopped. Again it is being we are giving them to relief when we are releasing this one when the acknowledgement is received. So here that particular condition is not there. So it is a flow control is being here implemented in this case. Okay, now anytime there is either one data frame on the forward channel or one ACK frame on the reverse channel, here is the half duplex things. So we have already studied about the half duplex. What was that? A particular transmission channel can be used by one only, particular one channel only, or your one sender or receiver, anyone can just use the transmission channel. So here the same thing is happening. So it is a half duplex one, right? So this one is the half duplex. How? The sender is using the transmission channel, then the receiver is using the transmission channel. Both of them are not using the channel at the same time. So this is a half duplex system where only one can use the transmission channel at a particular time, right? Both are active, but one can only use this one. Now here you can see the diagram. So this is the particular designing diagram of our stop and wait protocol. So here what is happening, again from the network layer, this is the sender and this is the receiver. So here we are getting the data from the network layer. Again, whatever processing is done here, then here what is happening, the physical layer, first of all they are receiving the frame or they are sending the frame, whatever is happening in the physical layer. Now data frames are sent to the receiver and acknowledgement frame is coming from the receiver. And here also in the network layer, here first of all the physical layer where the receiver receiving of frame and sending of frame, the processing is done in the data link layer, and the delivery of data is in the network layer. So this is what is the designing. Here you can see that even that from the network layer, the request of getting the frames is coming from the network layer, right? So it is the request which is the event here. Now next, repeat for the algorithm for sender side and algorithm for your receiver side, which is repeated again and again, it is repeated. And last event, that is notification from physical layer and notification from the physical layer for both sender and receiver. The algorithm will be given after your whole video. You can get the algorithm there. I will give you the algorithm, right? But here what is happening, this particular thing is the designing of your stop and wait protocol. Now next is what is happening, the flow diagram, which is very important in any examination, anything, whenever you are being asked about the stop and wait protocol. So you will mention this one, and this is sufficient to show what is happening in your. So this designing mainly it doesn't comes in the examination, mainly this process, this thing comes in your exam, that you have to make the flow diagram. The flow diagram will show what is happening in a particular protocol of this kind of protocol, which is about the flow control and error control. So here it is happening, sender and receiver is there. So first of all, the network layer, it is giving the request, and the frame request is being sent to the receiver. The frame is being sent and it is arrived at the receiver. Processing is done, then the receiver is sending an acknowledgement and the arrival of acknowledgement is there. Again it will have a request of frame, it will send the frame, the receiver. So this is the time span where the whole thing is happening. So this kind of thing, this kind of whatever thing is going on in your stop and wait protocol, this is slightly different from your simplest protocol. But by your flow control. The flow control technique is being used here in case of your stop and wait protocol, and simplest protocol didn't have any kind of flow control or error control, but here flow control is implemented. Now this figure shows an example of communication using the stop and wait protocol. It is still straightforward. It is also straightforward technology. Here also nothing is just anything is critical. It's not critical here. Here only straightforward things are going on. The frame is going and the ACK, that is the acknowledgement, is coming. The frame is going, the acknowledgement is coming. That's all. So it is also a straightforward technique as our simplest protocol. Now the sender sends a frame and waits for a response from the receiver. Sender sending frame, waiting for a response. When acknowledgement will arrive from the receiver side, then the sender sends the next frame. Again next frame, again acknowledgement, next frame. So this goes on. Okay. Now keep it in mind, when 2 frames will be there, sender will involve in 4 events. When we are going for a 2 frame condition, then what will happen, for 1 frame the sender is giving for 2 things, from sending, receiving, then sending, again sending. For 2 frames then there will be 4, 2 sending, 2 receiving. But the receiver, here what it will happen, the receiver will involve 2 events only. So here are the events what we have been asked here. So how the sender will have 4 events and the receiver will have 2 events. So this will have in case of 2 frames, if we are going to say 2 frames at that time. So basically it's the process where the flow control is, we are implementing the flow control with our simplest protocol. Simplest protocol didn't have any kind of flow control, didn't have any kind of error control, but here this flow control technique is being used, and it is making it much more faster, as well as it will not have a complicated nature, but the traffic is being maintained, the flow is being controlled here. This is the main advantage here, right? Since at that point of time we didn't had this advantage, that was very simple. We were sending the frames, going on sending the frames, but what was the main thing? The traffic was very huge, and for that particular thing the flow control should be added, which was a disadvantage. It was not there. But here in case of stop and wait protocol, we are having that particular advantage of flow control. Here the flow is being controlled so that the receiver can have a particular time and it can process the data in its own time. It have not to discard the frames, or it have not to give a denial of service. So this is basically what is happening in the stop and wait protocol in a noiseless channel. Now there are some other protocols which are in the noisy channels. We will discuss that in our other classes. But till then, if you have understood this topic, then please write me in the comment section. If you have any kind of queries, you can write that also in the comment section. If you have any suggestions, you can give that also to me. And if you like my channel, then please like, subscribe and share my channel with your friends and others. Till then, take care and goodbye.